You can have the perfect training program. Everything can go to plan in the schedule, but if you're not mentally prepared to run the race that you're trying to prepare for, it's going to fall apart on race day, or it's got a bigger chance of you not getting to where you want to get to. So how do you mentally prepare? How do you mentally prepare whether this is your first race, whether you're training for a 5K, whether it's a marathon, whether it's a big city marathon, or whether it's a low-key race near to your home? How do you mentally prepare? Now, I'm going to tell you throughout this video how I mentally prepare and a few tricks on how you can kind of get yourself into the zone so that you can get the best possible race result for you. Now, mental preparation is absolutely everything. If you think about sport, and if you think about what separates the top people in that sport from the people below, if you think about sports like football, or if you think about sports like basketball, it's the psychological side that separates the top, say, 3 from the top 100, yeah? It's Michael Jordan. What makes him the greatest of all time? He is willing to risk it all, despite the risk reward. He's willing to risk it all in order to take that winning shot. And if that winning shot goes in, he's the hero. If the winning shot misses, then he's failed. And the responsibility, accountability for the rest of the team, he's failed everybody. And he has to live with that. So you have to be willing to take that risk. And it's the same in football. It's like when you speak to Alex Ferguson, who managed Cristiano Ronaldo at Manchester United, Alex Ferguson always says, and he was the best manager in football for 18 years, probably the best manager ever, you always want players who want the ball. They want the ball, and especially in those pressure moments. You want the guy who's adamant that he wants to take a penalty. You want literally grabbing the ball off, I'm going to take one of these penalties. Doesn't matter whether it's the World Cup final, whether it's the Champions League final, or whether it's to win the game. They want the ball. That's the mentality that you need to get in. And so for a runner, when I'm approaching a race, it's only you who cares about your race result. It's only you. Your family and friends, maybe they care a little bit. Maybe they want you to be happy and they want you to get whatever result you're going for. But it's only you. And so you don't have that team pressure. You don't have that team environment to do well and have that accountability, responsibility. But you have, probably even greater than that, you have a responsibility to get the best possible result for you. And that can be intimidating, especially if you've announced that you're doing a marathon, your colleagues know at work, people know around you, your family knows, etc., etc. It's probably quite daunting because you want to reach that expectation. You want to meet their expectations. So how do you mentally prepare? Now, what are you walking into, first of all? So that might be different. As I said before, it might be a small race in your village, or it might be the London Marathon with 50,000 runners and millions of people watching. How does it actually feel like, what you're going into? So the first trick is visualization. What is it going to feel like? If you've never run a marathon before and you've signed up for London Marathon, or you've signed up for New York Marathon, Chicago, anywhere where there's big crowds and big numbers of people running, what is that going to feel like? Now, the trick is to feed off that energy, to actually use that energy from the other runners, from the crowd, use that energy for good, for positive, rather than get intimidated, rather than get anxious, rather than get nervous from all those other runners. It's very easy to get to the start line and look around and think, everyone looks more prepared than me. I'm going to fail. It's very, very, very simple to do that. It might happen to you in your first few races. Or you can approach that situation and think, how great is this that I've done all the training, I'm as ready as I ever can do, there's no control, everything is out of my control now other than my race performance. And how amazing is it that everyone is here today to run a marathon together. If everything going on in the world, take this as kind of big picture as you want, with everything going on in the world, 50,000 people are here this morning to run a marathon. We're all going to run together. Some people are going to get the result they want. Some people are going to be a bit disappointed, and some people are going to fail. That's life, yeah? You have to get used to that in running, whether it's you're running 5K or whether you're running a marathon or whether you're running 100 miles. It doesn't matter. There's going to be disappointments, there's going to be victories, and there's going to be people who are there's going to be people that miss the mark, yeah? So approach the situation and just be grateful. You cannot have gratitude and be anxious at the same time. So if you think if you kind of visualizing the race, what that's going to look like, the roar of the crowd, the amount of runners around you, it's going to be like close people around you. And if you've been training alone, that can be quite intimidating for some runners. If you've got runners there, they're trying to pass people, etc., that can be quite intimidating. If you take that away and you're using all that energy for your adrenaline, your excitement, etc., and you feel like it's a fun place to be, that can help you get a better performance. So really, really important to use the energy from the race, the nervous energy and you will stand there with everybody else ready to start, and you can cut the tension with a knife. The atmosphere is incredible, but it's very, very nervous to begin with, because everybody's been training for 3-6 months, maybe years, in order to run their best possible race. So of course they're nervous, because the stakes, even though they probably are the only one that cares, the stakes are really high. And so if you can go to that and think, right, okay, I've done the training, 80% of it went well, I'm in PB shape, I'm in the best possible shape for today, there's nothing else I can control, I can just run my best race today. Don't get too excited so you set off too fast and you kind of like, you pay for that in the final third or the final half. You control that nervous energy, but you thrive off it. If you can get yourself into that headspace, then you're gold, yeah? So that's the first trick, and that's once you flip your mind and you get into that mindset, you have the power to tap into that energy, and it is real. This is not kind of like pie in the sky. This is real. There's a lot of energy there, and you can tap into it, and you can use it for your fulfillment. And so the other little trick that I like to have is you've got to visualize, okay, what's that going to look like, and what am I going to feel like during the race? There's never the perfect race. You're never going to feel amazing from start to finish, or you might have 1 in 10 races where you feel that way. Distance running is all about overcoming problems on the go. On the go problem solving. That's distance running. You're going to feel not perfect, or you're going to feel sore, or you're going to feel bad. Your stomach's going to feel, something's going to happen at some point. So visualizing those problems and how you tackle those problems. Simple things might be, okay, I'm not running at the pace. I know I've kind of taken the marathon, I've split it into 42 kilometers or 26 miles. I know the pace that I've got to run in order to meet my time. I'm slowing down because my stomach's hurting, or my calves are cramping, or whatever, yeah? Slow down, take some breath, regroup, literally think, okay, what am I here for? What is the task? 10 kilometers to go. I've got to hold it in together. I've got to dig deep. This is life. Running is a perfect metaphor for life. I'll always say that because it's absolutely true. Who are you in that moment? So you've got to dig deep, you've got to take a step, you've got to literally kind of take a metaphorical step back, regroup, slow down a little bit, 5-10%, give yourself a couple of kilometers. Okay, let's run a couple of easy kilometers now. And then for the next 8, we're going to make up that time. And guess what? Your PB, you might add 20 seconds onto your time, 40 seconds onto your time, 1 minute onto it. It doesn't matter. What matters is you're finishing strong and you're happy with the result. And that only comes with proper mental preparation in order to visualize what you're going to go through, to be ready mentally for anything that race throws at you. And that's exactly the same in life. How is this situation today? How is it going to be? How is it going to play out? And how can I get the best possible result for me and the best possible result for everybody around me? That's life, and that's game theory, yeah? So good luck, enjoy. If you have any questions, if I've not covered anything that you wanted me to cover, just pop it in the comments and I'll answer it. Good luck.